So, ladies and gentlemen, Dan Mendilow is about to come on and bring some heat to help you rewire your brain and truly step into your greatest possible self. Before that, let's talk about the 21-day challenge. If you are an entrepreneur, high achiever, you're feeling overwhelmed, stuck, or you're just not tapped into your greatness and your potential, 21-day challenge is here to reignite your passion, your self-belief, your clarity on your dreams and goals, break them down into bite-sized steps, and hold you accountable for 21 days and beyond as you become your GPS. If you're interested and want to reignite yourself, send me a message, chris@beyourgps.com, or find me on Facebook and message me there. Thanks so much in advance. I look forward to helping you with your 21-day challenge. Next up is the iTunes review of the week. And who's it by this week? It's by ASLD. And ASLD says, such an uplifting energy. Chris shines so brightly. This is a man on a mission to spread love and authenticity. I'm in awe of his commitment to have fun, creating a life of fulfillment and abundance, and supporting others to do the same. Keep up the good work, Chris. The world needs you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. If you want to give us a review, go to beyourgps.com/iTunes or search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on the iTunes store. You can find us like that. Thanks so much in advance for doing that, and thank you for helping us grow. Thank you for letting us know what you love, what you want to see more of, and if there's any room for improvement, we love hearing that too. We love feedback. We're coaches. We love the feedback. Bring it on. So we got Dan Mendilow who's about to come on. Make sure you have a pen, paper handy, because he's going to be diving in to how you can grow yourself, how you can become your greatest possible self, rewire your mind, absolutely increase your income, understand what are the leverage points to becoming your GPS, to be able to create your reality. We're definitely going to dive into that, so stick around and get ready for the gold. I'm going to introduce him and then bring him on the screen. Dan Mendilow helps coaches and consultants create even more income, freedom, and impact in their lives, but without teaching them yet another business strategy. Instead, he helps people grow their businesses by uncovering their soul blueprint, mastering the art of state selection, and creating money momentum, and connecting to their higher selves with spiritual practices. He's based in LA, but sees clients from all over the US, and we're blessed to have him here with us today. Dan, are you ready to rock the house, my brother?
What's up, Chris? I'm ready to light people on fire, man.
Yes! We are
here.
ignited! I love it, man. I love it. Love the energy. Love you starting off with the fire reference. I love fire.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So, dude, thank you for being here and for taking the time to share with our audience how to become our greatest possible self with you. We're going to dive right into the theme of the day, which is take a stand. How does this concept of take a stand show up in your life, Dan? What does that mean for you?
Oh, man, on a couple of different levels. So taking a stand, first of all, I believe, is we have to take a stand for ourselves.
Yeah.
That, when we go out to serve our clients, when we are out there to help other people, it's easy to start thinking about what we need to do for other people, what we need to do in our businesses, what we need to do for our families, what we need to do for all of the other things in life except for us, right? But the question is, what do you believe in? Who are you? Instead of trying to become more palatable to people, instead of trying to say, well, what do they want? And what do they want to hear? And who should I be so that they can be, they can feel safe hiring us? Forget all that. Be polarizing. Stand up for what you believe in, whether it's weird or whether you're the only person on the planet who thinks it. What turns you on? What gets your fire going? Because when we want to take a stand for someone, we want to make a movement happen, we want to help someone change their lives, we have to understand first and foremost what it means to honor ourselves and how to stand there in self-love and to stand up first and foremost for us, loving the hell out of ourselves, out of our lives, and creating this experience on this planet that allows us to move through it with grace, with our own elegance, with our own energy, our vibrance, and aligning our lives with who we are rather than trying to align who we are with what we want for our lives, if that makes sense.
Damn. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I love it. So it's first, be aware of who we are. First, like you got to know who you are, what makes you come alive, what lights that fire within our souls. And when we're clear on that, live that every day, share it, talk about it, be it wherever you go, and then everything else falls into place.
That's right.
Damn, that's awesome, man. Great fire right off the bat, Dan. Loving it. So what do your clients come to you for, man? And what do you take a stand for?
So my clients come to me for a wide variety of reasons, really. I mean, when you look at it, right, I mean, we're all coaches here, right? We all kind of get it. That your clients will come to you for one reason, but that's actually not the reason they're really coming to you for, right? So my clients will come to me saying like, hey, I really want to make a lot more money. I don't feel like I'm successful enough. I don't yet have this life. I don't have, I don't feel like I'm tapping into all my potential. But really what I see is a question of honoring themselves. That's what they're really coming to me for. That's actually how I help entrepreneurs. They build their businesses without actually working on their businesses. We work on them. Because when you really think about it, someone comes over to me and says, Dan, I'm not making enough money. I'm like, okay, well, what are you charging? And it's usually a fraction of what they should be, right? Yeah. And the question is why? Why aren't you charging what you deserve? Why aren't you charging what your value is? And it's usually because people don't actually see their true value. They may say they do, but they don't, right? And then real easy test is to go up to someone and say, cool, if I told you to increase your prices by a minimum of 50% today, you had to. What's your response? And a lot of people get a tightening in the chest and they think, like, oh my God, like no one's going to re-sign with me. I'm not going to have any new clients and I'm going to go broke and have to move in with my parents. And my question is why? Aren't you a coach? Don't you help people change their lives? Right? What's more important than life? What's more important than the quality of your life and how happy you are and fulfilled you are and how you show up and how in love with this experience on this earth is? Like, that's the most valuable thing there is. So how dare you try to tell me that you're only worth $100 an hour? Get out of here. It's how you see yourself. It's all how you see yourself. And whether you truly honor yourself, where you can stand in front of a client and say, you know what? I charge $600 an hour and I am worth it. And you know what? I'm worth 10 times more than that. And you deserve that. You don't deserve, as my client, you don't deserve anything less than that. And that's why you're here. And that's why we're going to work some magic together. But you have to be able to stand there. And you really have to let go a lot of your negative stuff and a lot of your limiting beliefs and a lot of the things that tell you that you can't make it, that people won't pay for that people can't afford it. All these other things are really just projections of a person's lack of vision of their own value. The person, might not feel they deserve it. They feel like, oh, if I charge more, I'm not going to be able to bring that enough value. I'll be a fraud. Who am I to charge this much when I still have these problems in my life? All of these are just expressions of like a misfire, a break in that ability to truly love oneself and honor oneself.
Wow. Yeah, and it's like it's at one point you're congruent when you make the decision, hey, I'm worth it. I'm going to stand in front of this person. I'm going to say, here's what I'm worth. And then the congruency is lost because someone goes down a pathway or a trail or, a mental firing, so to speak, of neurons that says, but pay attention to this. And they pay attention to that. And they fall down that rabbit hole and they're not able to be congruent with what they know to be true because they get distracted and they haven't done the work on themselves. Would you say that's true?
I would say that's true. And also it could be that, maybe you've done enough work on yourself that you can get to a certain level. Like I remember that, when I was charging $3,000 for 3 months of working with me. And it took me a while to build myself up to it. And my services didn't really change. Right. But, I worked on myself so that I could express myself even more magnetically, so that when people picked up the phone, they could hear how much I love myself. I love my life and I love everything in it. By the way, also loving yourself isn't the same thing as being infatuated with yourself or being full of yourself or being narcissistic or being selfish. It is honoring yourself. It's accepting who you are, flaws and all, as a human being, being able to see every part of you as part of this magnificent creature. Right? Who is capable of everything, deserves everything, is worth everything, and can change into everything, right? Yeah. So I worked up to 3,000, but then I hit a block because I got myself up to thinking, cool, I'm at this level. But then I had a coach that said, okay, well, why don't you charge 5,000? I said, oh, no, I can't do that. right? So it's like you can get your beliefs and your internal makeup to get you up to a certain point. But then when you want to get to the next level, it's very easy for people to say, oh, I need different marketing, different ads, different funnels, different things like that. But really, the blocking point is your beliefs that got you here are not the same beliefs that will get you to the next level.
Right.
So yes, you could get distracted. And yes, there could be a break in congruency and there could be something distracting you from who you really are. But then it also could be that you've done all beautiful work and then you kind of rested on your laurels a little bit. But hey, this is more than I've ever charged. This is better than I've ever done. This is more referrals, more testimonials, or however you're gauging your business. But then there's also a next level, and there will always be an even greater level. And it starts by understanding that you deserve to be at that level, that you're worth it, and that your clients need it.
Amen. Amen, Dan. I'm loving this. Okay, so we got who you are, what you stand for today. Let's go back into the journey, man. Talk about what did you have to overcome to get to where we are here. We talked about, the pricing. You had some challenges with that, but let's go back even further, how you got started on the coaching journey to begin with, man.
Sure. So I believe that I was born depressed. My earliest memories, I was depressed. I was born in Jerusalem, Israel, and I was raised in New Jersey. So even from the very get-go, I didn't look like the rest of the kids, talk like them. I ate weird garlicky foods. Like everything about me was totally different. My English sucked and I had a real hard Israeli accent, which also notice that you cannot hear at all. Why? Because before the age of 4, I was so sick of being ostracized, picked on. I wasn't allowed, the kids wouldn't play with me and I just felt like an outsider. That I told my mom that I could never speak Hebrew again.
Wow.
Right? That I would have to reject who I was so that I could fit in. And that set off a domino effect of me for up until past college, trying to fit in, trying to mold myself to what other people were or what I thought they wanted. And being called a weirdo and a loser and feeling like one and getting even more in my head until in high school, one of my best friends at the time turned on me and started spreading lies around the school. So other people who didn't even know me would turn on me and hate me and, recruited people to bully me and steal my things and tear up my books and make my life a living hell. Went to college and discovered that if I drank enough beer, I could forget about things for a little while. And I think became a functioning alcoholic and then discovered marijuana, which helped me black out even more. And of course, these things just make it worse, right? It's not like, you should do for a really depressed kid who thinks he's worthless. Give him all the drugs and alcohol you could possibly give him and then just see what happens, right? So I became suicidal. And fortunately, I was also too chicken to fully pull the trigger, but it woke me up. And I realized, look, I had my options. I could either do something about this, or I could accept that this is my lot in life, that I was going to always be a loser, that I'd never have the friends, the wealth, the girlfriends, the experiences, the adventures that I really wanted. And I would just have to put up with it. Right. So I had my two choices or I could just kill myself and just finish the freaking job. Right. So I started looking for a solution. At first, I thought there was something fundamentally wrong in my brain. So I went to school for cognitive science, studying how the brain turns stimulus into information. And of course, I didn't find anything wrong there because nothing's wrong with me. Right. But then I went into social psychology and started learning Freud and Jung and all of these. I looked at it and I was like, it's just I not finding it. I'm not making the progress. This isn't working. And also something told me that this was old stuff. It's like I was trying to access the internet through an Apple IIe. You know what I mean? Like the earliest thing. Which, by the way, if you're listening to this and you don't even recognize what kind of computer that is, that was the first computer I have. And the floppy disk, it didn't even have a hard drive. The floppy disks were bigger than my head.
Oh my gosh.
Right. So it's I felt like the psychology I was learning was kind of like that. It's old technology. And so I started looking for something else. And I started digging into really weird stuff. Back then, one of my teachers in psychology was working with Masaru Emoto on his ice studies and rice studies, which was really freaking cool. And so she introduced me to this world of other mind-bending things, energy and all this stuff. And I was I was like I was a scientist, energy. I don't even know what that is. And then I discovered hypnosis and
Mm.
neurolinguistic programming
Yeah.
and went head in. And like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like, yes, this is it. Like I found myself changing beliefs and
Yeah.
perceptions and found myself getting different results. And all of a sudden I was
Mm.
making friends and I was dating and I was, becoming even more confident. Then I found spirituality.
Mm.
And when I came back, I went to a meditation retreat in Thailand for a month and I came back feeling crystals,
Mm.
like feeling the energy of crystals. I
Wow.
became one of those people I thought were just like hippie new age freaks. And all of a sudden I come back and I'm like, oh my God, energy is real and manifestation can happen and all these things. And whoa. And then I started putting all these tools together and
Mm.
realizing that when you know how to change your unconscious programming
Mm.
that tell you who you are or how life is supposed to be or what you're going to get or how to deserve, right?
Mm.
You combine these ways of changing and sloughing off limiting beliefs and fears and negative emotions. You combine that with spirituality,
Mm.
with the groundedness you get, knowing that you don't have to do this alone and that you have this infinite path in front of you and that the universe wants you to be successful and sends you tools and messengers that all you need to do is be aware of them
Mm.
and then use those other tools, NLP, hypnosis, all these other glorious, positive psychology,
Yeah.
in order to expand your vision so that you can accept the blessings and accept the messages and work with it. All of a sudden I discovered, boom, my depression was gone.
Mm.
Not only that, but I had a tribe of loving people around me. And when I started my business, all of a sudden people started hopping out of the woodwork wanting to help me and be my client out of nowhere. I didn't even know that I could sell this stuff. And all of a sudden people are asking me, like, how do we start? I'm like, how do we start what? How do we start coaching? I'm like, oh my God, I have to come up with a price and a program. Like I wasn't even ready for it. And I realized that through healing myself and
Mm.
through creating a life that I really love, developed the skills that would help anybody get through just about anything. And
Mm.
I started working with clients and realizing that I could heal them of depression. It took me 13 years. I could heal them of depression in hours and it
Yeah.
doesn't come back. And then helping people with relationships and then with their physical, their health. And then realizing like, this is my way of giving back.
Mm.
This is my way of
Wow.
giving back to life for getting the opportunity to heal myself and getting
Mm.
out of this image of this weird loser and into this image of this completely bizarre, insane spiritual coach. And since then, I've been blessed
Mm.
with helping people expand their lives and create this, the time and financial freedom for themselves and for their families to become even better parents, even better sons and daughters, even better people, to love themselves even more and create lives that they're madly in love with.
Mm.
And I became hopelessly hooked and addicted to this form of giving back. And it's just the best thing in my life.
So incredible, man. It's such an awesome story. It's like your storytelling abilities are just phenomenal. I love the
Thanks.
energy you put into your words and the pauses and the oh my gosh, the emphasis is just awesome, Dan. Love it. Love it, man.
Thank you.
So when you were learning these new modalities, spirituality, energy, like when you were coming in contact with these things, like what was it that kept you moving through and focusing on like an end result or a purpose or an outcome or a vision? Like what was that kept you going through, that had you be willing to be open to these new ideas and ways of thinking and being?
It started off with the just the hope that there
Mm.
was more to life than this
Mm.
and that I could have it. But I really didn't believe that good things happened to me.
Mm.
I really didn't believe that I'd ever be wealthy. And I had so many limitations in on who I thought I was. And I saw all these things, these flaws in my character, these parts of me that I hated that I thought were, again, weird, loserish. Nothing about me is special.
Mm.
Why would anybody want to, work with me, learn from me, hire me, whatever?
Mm.
And that little voice though kept on telling me like, there's got to be more than pain in your life.
Yeah.
There's got to be more than this. And when I started getting these shifts, when I started realizing, I started doing this was an impossible thing for me to accept, that I could walk into a room and within an hour I could walk in feeling like a loser and walk out knowing permanently that I'm fine, that I'm even better than not a loser, that I'm actually awesome. And it could happen when you know the right processes. There are no limitations. There are just momentary distractions and challenges. That's it. And when we can stand and know, right, that there is no challenge that is too big, then that set a fire in you. That set a fire in me.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, oh my God, one, I can change. Two, who I thought I was does not have to be who I am forever. My life as I saw it does not have to be my life moving forward. And that any part of me that I thought was limited or bad or a flaw, I could, within a short amount of time, I'm talking about minutes sometimes, I could reverse that and see how my flaws are actually my strengths. And the moment I started in on that, the moment I started saying, like, oh, whoa, 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 hold on a second. Actually growing up and being ostracized and being picked on was a good thing. And I could start seeing, like, oh my God, actually, yes, it was a good thing. Look at all the things that pushed me to learn.
Yeah.
Look at all the things that pushed me to accept and grow. And then that became really addictive. So I'm like, okay, well, if this thing that I didn't like about myself, if I could turn that into a strength, what else can I do? If I start I get one client, why can't I have 100? If I can help someone, build their company up to 6 figures, why can't I help them make $1 million? And like, it just kept on going. And I still have that, where any moment where I, like, get a little bit of something changing or a little bit of success or a little bit, my mind immediately goes to, holy crap, this is possible. And if this is possible, why not this even bigger? And it just becomes a game. It became a huge game of life for me. Thinking like, yeah, and the gorgeous thing is, looking at who I am now, if you asked me even last year if I'd be doing what I'm doing right now, if I'm helping, like, ask me, 3 years ago, look back at that, Dan, and say, Dan, are you going to be able to help someone quadruple their income in 30 days without doing anything different in their business, just by helping them love themselves? I would have looked at you like you were crazy. We could say, Dan, you're going to be teaching people how to literally manifest clients and money and love out of nowhere. I was like, what are you talking about? Right? But now I'm here. And because I know that, my mind is like, well, who am I going to be tomorrow? Who am I going to be next year? Who could I be? Life is magical. And when we can just get a little glimpse of it, that should just set you right off.
Damn. I love it, man. I love it. And I hear, like, you also start expanding what's possible and to start asking for that, knowing that you deserve it. I think a lot of people get stuck when it comes to asking for something bigger. They get complacent. They rest on their laurels, like you were saying earlier. So you got this success of momentum. You're like, okay, let's expand it even more. Let's ask. Let's go out and create even more. And I think that's super important. And being able to constantly overcome those barriers and those blocks, man, that's phenomenal. So, like, let's talk into loving yourself. What does that really mean, and how do we do that? Because I know it's a big part of your philosophy.
Yeah, it is. And it's something that I think is really misunderstood. I think that some people have this image of self-love as, I look in the mirror and I think that everything about me is awesome. And until that, then I don't love myself. And that's just not true. Okay. Because what that is, if you ever have that thought, really what it means is you can only love yourself when you're perfect. And that's not at all it. I subscribe to self-love being able to accept that I'm perfectly imperfect. That I have things about me that I don't like, but I love myself anyway. You have a person in your life that you really love. Do you love everything they do? The people I love most in my life, who I would jump in front of I really do it. I would jump in front of a bullet or a moving car for these people. In a heartbeat, wouldn't even think about it. I would do it twice. Get up and jump in front of another car for these people. They drive me insane sometimes. Those things are like, how could you do that? What's wrong with you? Right? So, but I love them to bits, right? It's this idea that you don't have to be perfect, that you are this incredibly complex and growing and changing, beautiful thing. and that there's no such thing as a flaw. You just have parts of you that you haven't learned to accept and love yet.
Wow.
But the weird thing is that for me, like the things that I used to hate about myself, they're still there in me. I haven't changed them. I'm still, dude, if anything else, I'm weirder than I've ever been right now. I'm way weirder than I've ever been right now. All of the things that I've seen in my life that I used to hate myself for, I now love myself. And it went through knowing that, okay, this is part of me and it's okay. And it's okay to not like all of me. And it's okay to want to work on things. And it's okay to feel negative sometimes. And that's okay. And it really is all right. And you move from that to knowing that, you know what, I can work through these things.
Yeah.
I don't have to accept it. It's like I get to change anything I want about me, knowing actually that it's not really changing. That I believe that the process of growth is sort of like what Michelangelo did with his sculptures, right?
Yeah.
He said that he went to a quarry and he listened, and a statue would yell at him from the rock, and he'd go and he'd get this big piece of rock and he'd take it back to his studio, and then he'd carefully chip away the pieces that were not the statue, and he would liberate the statue from the rock. So when I look at self-worth, I can see that, you know, I don't like this thing about me right now, but that's not the real me. That's just a piece of marble that I have to chip off. And I can chip it off. There's so many tools that I can use to chip that piece off. You know, I don't feel that I deserve everything in life. That's not you. That's not who you really are. That's a piece of marble. We get to chip that off. And when we do, then we get to the real you, right? The real you. Because when we're born, you look at babies. You ever seen an insecure baby? You know, you ever seen a baby who tries to stand up 10 times and gives up? And you're like, I'll be a floor baby for the rest of my life. Forget it. It's not for me. This whole standing thing, it's for other people. It's not for me. It's okay. You know, or blaming the floor. It's like, the floor did that to me. Oh, I can't stand because, you know, the floor is slightly tilted and whatever. No, we learn these behaviors. We put these pieces of marble on ourselves. So when it comes time to love ourselves, we can see who we really are and know that we are a gorgeous masterpiece in progress. Yeah. And it's okay to still have some pieces of marble that you're going to chip off. And you will. You will. You'll get there. And you get to love and accept the journey and experience all of who you are. And one day you'll wake up and realize that the things that you hated most about yourself are the things that you love most. And that people can't stop signing up for your programs and can't stop calling you because of those things.
That's awesome, man. I love it. I love it. So in terms of increasing people's income, you mentioned that that's something that's important to you, that you love to help your clients with. What would you say is the biggest thing that stops people from increasing their income or blocks them? Is it the self-love? Is it worthiness, unwillingness to ask? What would you say is the biggest thing that you typically focus on in the process of getting people to increase their income?
Yeah, I think there are two main portions, and these also go into self-love, right? It's the value that you perceive that you bring and how much you believe that you are worth, right? What do you believe you deserve? Because a lot of times I'll see people really, and it's funny, I see this in all sorts of walks of life, entrepreneurs who I hire. And I can't help myself. Like, no, you should charge more than this. You should charge more than this. And then all the resistance, you know, like all the resistance comes up. No, people in this area won't buy, blah, 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 blah. But really what it is you not seeing your real value. It's like when people they want to start programs, but they hold themselves off. Like, oh, I've been thinking about starting this company forever. Why haven't you started it? Because somewhere deep down, they don't think that they'd be successful at it. Why don't they think they'd be successful at it? Because they don't feel like they would bring enough value, or they don't feel like they are worth that success. Because when they do feel like they have the value to offer and they are worth it, if there is a technical issue, you know, I don't know how to email. Okay, fine. Learn, right? That's the easiest part. I don't know how to make a funnel. Go figure it out. Go get a coach. That's the easiest thing, right? But you'll only do that when you think that you're worth it. When you think that you have value to send out there. Right. And so for people starting off, that's where I see a lot of the problem. For people in the middle of their career, like I love working with people, coaches, consultants who are around the 6-figure mark, a little bit below it, or, you know, somewhere up it, and they're looking to grow.
Hmm.
And what'll happen there is that they'll get really comfortable with a certain income. And they'll feel like, oh, if I change them, if I ask for more money, or if I make an even more expensive program, or I raise my rates or whatever, then I'm going to lose what I have right now.
Mm.
Right? I've worked so hard to build this. I don't want to lose it. That's a comfort zone,
Yeah.
right? In the comfort zone, the walls of the comfort zone are made of fear.
Hmm.
What are those fears? Where do they come from? They come from, I don't think people are going to pay because I'm not bringing enough value to the table, that they won't see it. Because you know what it's like. You'll have a client or a prospect, you get on the call and think, oh, I can't afford it. And then they'll go out the next day and buy a car. What's that? It's not because they didn't have money. It's because they didn't see the value in it. Why didn't they see the value in it? Because you didn't see the value in it.
Hmm.
Not enough. Not enough. You should see the value as you bring to the table as at least 10 times what you're charging.
Hmm.
So much so that when you speak and you give your offer, not a pitch, when you offer someone to work with you, in your mind, as you're giving them the number, it feels like the biggest deal of all time,
Hmm.
the biggest no-brainer. And like, it's okay. Not everybody's going to sign up with you. Not everybody signs up with me. That's fine. But they're going to really think about it,
Yeah.
Really like, ooh, do I need that car or do I need this? And like, whoa, you really layer on that value.
Hmm.
But you also have to know that you're worth it,
Yeah.
right? You have to know personally that you deserve it. And it's a weird thing because consciously we like to tell ourselves, yeah, I'm worth it. Yeah, I deserve everything. But until your actions back that up, you don't actually think it. That's a conscious thing that you told yourself,
Hmm.
right? And that's where I see people tripping up on there because maybe, they'll be doing well, they need to get to the next level, but they won't hire a coach. They won't invest
Hmm.
in themselves. Why? Look, investing in yourself is the safest investment. It's the safest risk you can ever make. So why wouldn't people do it? Because they don't think that they're going to get their ROI from it. And why wouldn't they get the ROI from investing in themselves? I'm not talking about by, in one particular coach. I'm just saying in investing in themselves at all, hiring a
Right.
coach at all. Why wouldn't they do that? Because they don't see that they're worth it, or
Hmm.
they don't see that they can bring enough value to the coaching that they would get enough value back.
Wow.
So when you increase this, it becomes easy and natural. Obviously, I'm going to hire a coach, right? Because I'm going to get 10 times the value out of it because I know that I'm worth it. I know that I'm valuable. I know that I'll get something out of it because you get what you put in.
Hmm.
I have a ton to put in, so I'm going to get a ton out.
Yeah.
And so that, helping them really see themselves and kind of love themselves through it will help them get either the coaching they need or allow them to ask for what they want and then create a business that really supports their vision of their life.
Yeah, 100%. I love this conversation. Anyone who's listening or watching right now, definitely have a conversation with Dan because he's freaking kick-ass and can help you break through whatever you're going through. This is awesome, man. So as far as like, is there one thing that you would say people really need to do, like an exercise or maybe a habit, a practice of something that would really help them break through their worthiness and like, they say, oh yeah, I'm worth it, I deserve it, but when it comes to the actions, they suck really bad at it, and I'm sure coaching is one of those actions. So I'm gonna say that one right off the bat, like hire a
Sure.
freaking coach. Like that's a for sure. And is there anything else you'd really recommend, Dan?
Yeah, there are a few things there. One, become the kind of client that you want to work with,
Mm.
right? That you want to attract.
Yeah.
So if you want someone who pays on time, is willing to invest a lot in themselves, puts a lot into themselves in terms of time and money,
Mm-hmm.
is whatever. Write down a list of all the things you want your clients to be
Mm.
in order to work with you.
Yeah.
And then take a look at how many of those things you do and how many of those things you don't do.
Yeah.
Or, what conflicts with your behaviors. And then change your behaviors to match that. Because
Wow.
when the energy you put off resonates with your clients, they'll be attracted to you.
Yeah.
Right? The energy you put out. So, we're talking about vibes. The vibrations you send out into the universe will attract only things that resonate with those same vibrations. So if you're not paying people on time, then you're going to get clients who will not pay you on time.
Wow.
If you're saying to yourself, oh, I can't afford it, I can't afford it, I can't afford it to the things that you really want and to be beneficial to you, you're going to get clients who will say that to you, right? So when you start this process of doing that, what you will also do by changing your behaviors intentionally you will begin the process of loving yourself even more and stepping into your power and really embracing this transformation that not only are you going to help your clients go through, but you're going to go through.
Right.
And you guys will grow together. So that's one of them. The other one is progressively becoming accustomed to deserving even more. So find out in your mind how much you believe you deserve or how much you believe you can charge, right? So let's say I believe, in my mind, I can only make $100,000 a year, right? And then if I say, oh, I totally believe that I deserve $1 million a year. You put $1 million and you say, can I make that? And you listen in for the very first voice that comes up, because it'll probably be no, right? But maybe you can write down, $1,100. And your mind goes like, okay, maybe we could make that.
Stretch a little.
Yeah, stretch a bit. And then what you do is you're going to write down all of the reasons why you can make that, why you deserve that, why you're worth that. And then what you do is you check this list over and over and over again. You get comfortable with that until it really embeds in your mind, like, yeah, we are worth, we deserve, we can make 100,000 and 100. And then you boost it up a little bit, 100,000. 200 or 100,000, 300. And you do the same thing. You write down all the reasons that you deserve it, that you'll make it, that you can do it, that you will do it. And then you become used to that. And you progressively, bit by bit. When we make big jumps, then it's really hard. It's sort of like going in there, if you're bench pressing, bench press 100 pounds. You can't just go from 100 pounds to 1,000 pounds. You're going to break it. Right? But if you bench 100 pounds, you get used to that. You go 101 pounds. You bench that and you're used to that. 102, 103. By the end of the year, you might be at a completely different place than you were when you started.
Wow.
And you wouldn't even feel it. It's just very small incremental changes so that your mind accepts it. And before long, without a shadow of a doubt that you deserve the best life has to offer and that you will have it and that you'll do whatever it takes, because all that's in your way is just a momentary challenge.
I love it, Dan. For people who are struggling with like the motivation or the discipline, like they're like, okay, I get it, these incremental changes, yeah, and to look at this list of why I deserve to charge, but like they start it and then they fizzle out, or they get distracted, or they make excuses. Like, what do you think it is that's blocking them from being able to follow through on what they start on?
Yep, there are only two reasons that people would procrastinate. They either don't have enough inspiration or they're responding to fear. So if you have to rely on discipline and motivation to get you through your business, you're going to fail. Because being an entrepreneur is really hard.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It is emotionally taxing. It's the scariest thing I've ever done. And I keep on having times where I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. Everything is changing. What is going on? And if you rely on motivation at that point, you're going to fail, because motivation is the energy you need to do something you don't want to do. Well, why are you doing one of the hardest things ever if you don't want to do it? So what you've got to do is create this vision of the future that is so salient. That means that this vision incorporates all five senses, is super detailed, and when you think about it, it lights you on fire. When you talk about it, you can't control yourself. It's like you drank 3 cups of coffee at the same time. It just lights you up. When you have that vision, then you'll be inspired. You won't need to work on weak sauce motivation. You have inspiration, which is super powerful, because you know that, like, all right, some stuff is happening right now, but that vision, though, that is worth it. That's worth every little bit of blood, sweat, and tears, and I will have that because of how amazing it is, right? You get that component in place, awesome. Then we head over to the other side, which is fears, right? You got to look at your limiting beliefs. Fears come from limiting beliefs, where you feel deep down in your unconscious mind that you can't have something, that you're not smart enough, good enough, skilled enough, that you won't have this in your future, that money is hard to make, that no one wants to pay attention to you, or whatever you might have that is saying that you can't or won't have this future. You must erase those, okay? And you might say, oh, well, no, I don't have these fears. It's just that my reality is showing me that what I'm doing, that I'm just speaking from experience, Dan. It's just experience. Money is hard to make. Good things don't happen to me. All this other stuff, right?
It's the truth.
It's the truth. It's what is. I'm not making this up. And my thing is, yes, you're making it up. It may not have come from you. It could have come from your parents or their parents. But we make up our realities.
Yep.
And if you, whatever you believe about your life will become true for you. It's like the Ford quote, whether you believe you can or you can't, you are right. It's called the placebo and nocebo effect. This isn't woo woo. This isn't magic. This is well studied science. Whatever you believe, if you believe that you can't make a lot of money, then it's going to be super hard for you to do it. If you believe that you're the ish and people would be silly not to sign up with you, well, then that's what's going to be,
Right.
So you've got to check all these places of resistances because the mind wants you to feel comfortable. And so if you're going into a place with a lot of fear, then it's a lot easier for your mind to just distract you or, make you suddenly tired or hungry or like, oh, no, tell you like, no, you should wash your car instead of making those sales calls. And it'll feel totally logically reasonable to do that. Right. Or, it'll come up with a billion different ways to keep you playing small because playing small is safe. And that's why you give that up. That's why you drop your work and be inconsistent with your work because your mind is just trying to protect you. But when you eliminate the fears, when you erase those beliefs and you make your mind realize that you're safe even when you're feeling uncomfortable, that you're safer by doing what you love than by working for someone else's dream, trying to help them build theirs instead of building yours. When you make your mind know without a shadow of a doubt that you will be successful and it's okay to risk and it's okay to make mistakes and it's okay to fail, then you will be on fire.
Yeah. Love it. I love it, Dan. As far as like traveling the world, I know it's a big part for you, like adventuring and these different places that you've gone. Tell us about that perspective and why that's important to you and what you've gotten out of that and doing that.
Yeah, I mean, my parents got me traveling ever since I was a little kid, and they actually even I remember being really young and having them meet me. Where is it? It might have been like in France, sometimes in like different places in Europe when I was a kid. Like I would travel when I was 8 alone,
Wow.
and I think they did that on purpose
That's awesome.
because they wanted to instill in me this sense of independence and sense of adventure.
Man.
And so I have, first of all, a huge nostalgia factor. It really ties me in because there is this childlike wonder that I get whenever I travel. Because I love adventure. It's my number one value. I'll do whatever it takes in order to have an adventure.
Wow. That's awesome.
And traveling the world, first of all, it really did expand my mind. I mean, I became spiritual in Thailand. I spent 2 months in India, one at Kumbh Mela, one in an ashram outside of Vidity, and expanded myself. And so to me, travel and seeing what else is out there, experiencing things that I don't experience here, learning things, tasting, touching, smelling, hearing, everything that is outside of my reality, expands my internal world as well, right? Because through that, there's so much learning and so much more possibility. I think that is an amazing thing as well. Going out there and getting out, like physically out there, and seeing that there's so many more things in life for you to experience that you may never even known, right? There's so many things out there to love that would have never occurred to you or may have seemed impossible to you before you saw it and felt it, and, witnessed it. Well, to me, that's a lot like personal development as well, right? So I travel for the same reasons that I consistently do these processes on myself and expand, learning energy healing and shamanism and all these other things. Because to me, they're just different ways of understanding that life has an infinite amount of possibilities and opportunities for you. And we're here. The purpose of life is to explore them and to love them and to have as much fun as we possibly can while we're doing it.
That's right. Enjoy the freaking process, man. So many people think they have to go through the grind, and it's like it wasn't meant to be all this like hard, laborious work. Have fun, dance, play, sing, be self-expressed. It's super, super important along the journey, man.
Yeah. Not only that, but it's also like I use it as a business tool.
Ah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't think that play or exploration of travel or, champagne brunch or whatever is something that you get as a reward. I think it is your duty to do these things,
Wow.
right? Because look, when someone hops on a sales call with you, one of the reasons that they would sign up with you is if they see something in you that they want to be or they want to have or they want to do,
Right.
right? But who wants to work with an entrepreneur who all they do is work? And they say, I love my job, but I don't do anything else. I don't treat myself well. I don't have a self-care routine. My health is going to crap. I don't spend enough time with the people that I love. I work all the time on the weekends. Who wants to become like that, right? On the other side, what happens if you get on the phone with someone saying, hey, check this out. This is what I'm about. I'm going to show you how to make even more money in less time by having as much fun as possible.
Yes.
That means it is your job to go out there and travel, to go out there and have adventures, to go out there and collect stories and to explore the weirdness of who you are in life and have fancy dinners and, have one too many drinks every once in a while and go dancing until you're sweaty and, blow off work to hit the beach, because this all, right, when you do it from a place of self-love and honoring yourself, increases your self-love. And it increases the positive energy that you bring to your work and bring to your calls. And it's addictive and it's magnetizing and it's sexy and it's fun. And who wouldn't want to sign up with you if that's what you bring to the table?
Yeah. What did you have to let go of to really step into that fully yourself?
Self-judgment.
Yeah.
Self-judgment and the idea that I need to hustle in order to make money. I get it. Gary Vee is awesome. I just don't prescribe to him, it's just not my thing, man. I don't want to be working all the time. And in my life, I've noticed also because I do teach manifestation. And if you want to manifest a hell of a lot of money, you've got to be full of beautiful, positive, self-loving energy. And I notice that the more I play, the happier I get, the more playful I become, the more I honor myself, the more I manifest amazing things. Got clients coming out of nowhere when I play the most. And I notice it, like when I take things too seriously, I slow down. My business slows down. It becomes more of a grind for me. It becomes more of a haul. It becomes harder to get up in the morning. I don't want to get on my sales calls. And then I'll go and I'll play for a whole weekend. By the way, that doesn't just mean like getting horribly drunk all the time. I mean, like last weekend, was celebrating my 1-year anniversary with my girlfriend. And we started off by going to an escape room. Then we went to a beautiful lunch. We cracked open a bottle of wine and then went to this exhibit called Samskara in LA, which is these 5 domes. Each one of them has a different exhibit of 3D immersive, sort of psychedelic spiritual art.
Wow.
One of them having this huge dome where they had these 3D immersive art experiences that would like take you through these virtual worlds as a DJ is mixing music live.
Damn.
And for a couple of hours, I just blipped out of reality entirely. I was in a completely different place, playing with her and just having so much fun and not thinking about work, not thinking about time, not thinking about money, just focusing in on having as much fun as possible. And I woke up on Sunday feeling ready to kick some butt this week. Just like bring it.
Yeah.
Bring it. I want to get on all the calls. I want to do amazing work with my clients. All my sessions have been magic. The enrollment calls have been so much fun.
Yes.
And that's what it's about. And that's how you grow your business, right? By having as much fun as possible. They don't conflict.
Damn, that's awesome. How do you relate to like intuition and being guided by like a higher power or God or source or the universe? Like what role does that play in your life?
Massive role in my life. I'm actually also working with a coach who's teaching me how to increase and improve my intuition, but also physical intuition and being able to hear and see and like 5-dimensional experience of life, which is bonkers, weird, and crazy. But yeah, I am very intuitive. I trust my intuition as much as I can. I mess up every once in a while. But no, I guide myself through that. And my connection with the universe is the reason. Look, I have literally manifested a multiple six-figure business out of nothing with no marketing, no advertising, not knowing what I was doing, just focusing in
Hmm.
on hearing the guidance of the universe, manifesting, working in on myself. And I think it's really fun because, I am one of those full crystal kid weirdos. I feel the energy off of everything. When my clients come in, there are a lot of times I'll write down an answer to the question before I ask them
Hmm.
because I hear it. I can, and this may push the limits of someone's understand or belief system, but
Bring it.
there are a lot of times that I will read my client's mind.
Yeah.
I'll know what their issues are, know what their problems really are. I can sense it, I can feel it, I can sometimes literally hear it and see it.
Hmm.
And when we're going through a process, a lot of times I can see what they see.
Hmm.
And what's gorgeous there is I can help them get to that level too, help them clear away the thoughts. Because when you clear away that marble
Hmm.
and you get down to you will hear your intuition even more and even more and even more. And I believe that we all have this part of us that is connected with the infinite wisdom and consciousness that is the universe. And when we clear ourselves enough, this is why meditation is beautiful as well. We can hear it and we
Hmm.
can guide ourselves and we can heal from amazing things. And when we can just get in touch with that, one of the things I do help my clients with is getting in touch with that soul, that consciousness, that magic
Hmm.
within them. Because when you do that, that's a part of you that doesn't have fear. That's a part of you that doesn't have obstacles or struggles or self hatred. It doesn't know what these things are. All it knows is love, and love is the most healing thing that there is. So the more that we can tap into this, the louder our intuition gets, the more that we can make real magic happen. Manifestation, seeing the future, reading people's minds. Like this can all happen. It can all happen, and all my friends do it. It's wild. It really is. It's super crazy. But also, then when you do that, you can heal from anything. I
Hmm.
believe that soon we will have coaches who will be teaching others, and it might be me, because this is also where I'm sort of headed,
Heck
of
yeah.
teaching people how to heal from addiction, from
Hmm.
physical ailments, from autoimmune diseases through tapping into themselves
Yeah.
and that part of them that is so deeply magical.
That's amazing. Amazing. Dan, this is so incredible. So, if we had to really wrap this conversation up with the final takeaways, final things you really want people to embrace and take massive action on, what would that be?
So push, keep on pushing
Hmm.
to accept even more of yourself.
Hmm.
Knowing that self love doesn't mean you like every part of you, right? But that you know that you are part of this grand, beautifully, perfectly imperfect consciousness of all. And know that you deserve everything. Know that you're worth everything. And keep on pushing in those directions. Keep on showing up for yourself. Honor yourself on your sales calls, when you're serving your clients, when you're doing your marketing. Really allow yourself to know that you deserve the best life has to offer, all of the abundance, all of the time freedom, all of the financial freedom. You deserve all of the love. You deserve everything. And never stop expanding how much you believe you deserve.
Amen. Amen, Dan. How do people stay connected with you? What are their next steps, man? This is awesome. What can they do to continue their journey with the Dan Mendilow?
Well, you can check out my website. It's www.danmendelow.com. I'm sure you'll have the spelling for them somewhere, Chris.
Yep.
You can check out it's a free online mastermind community. I would love for you to connect with me there because that's where I drop all sorts of tools, practical. I do live trainings and teach you. I'll show you what I do with my clients. I'll just give it to you. All the processes, exactly how I do everything. I'll show you everything and it's all for free because I want to help other coaches, help other people. I believe that when we band together and we break down the walls of what we're allowed to share or what, you should pay for versus what you should get for free, when we break all that down together, we can change the planet. And you can access that beautiful container where you'll be supported also by like minded coaches and consultants. It's www.abundantcoaches.com.
So awesome. So awesome, Dan. Thank you for what you do, man. Your big heart and just the energy that you bring, the presence, the heart, the authenticity, like it speaks through you. God, universe, source, creator is speaking through you to really impact people, ignite them, awaken them. And I love the spiritual direction that you're flowing into as well. It's super awesome, having fun, dancing, adventuring, and just being you, man. You are an incredible soul. Thank you for what you do. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thank you. It's such an honor to share it with you. I had so much fun on this. I really hope your audience got a ton of value out of it.
Dude, they did. There's so many comments. Like, go look at all the comments. We had Tucker Bearden shouting you out, Joshua Berglund, Sharon Johnson. So many people out there. Go check them out.
Lots of love right back at you guys. I receive every little piece of it. It's such a blessing to be on here with you guys.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Dan. We'll see you soon, okay?
All righty, Chris. Thank you so much again.
You're welcome, brother.